Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
Tony Basilio welcoming you to another edition. The great John Adams is in the house, presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. She of Keller Williams fame. We're fired up, focused, and prepared today. We're stacked, jacked, and packed. Matt Dixon in the house. Brian Hartman in the house as well. We've got a lot to get to, and really very little time. Josh Heupel going to do a press conference in hour 2. We'll take that live. Wow, what a day. Here in the next couple of minutes, this Hyder kid, the 5-star running back, is supposed to decide something or announce his decision. It's down to Michigan and Tennessee, and the thought is he's going to go to Michigan. And then I guess one of those people that are in the space nationally was saying they expect the Keys kid to go to LSU when it's all said and done. Danny White is increasing season tickets again, but he just put a tweet out. I'll share that with you. Never a dull moment as Joey Football is your starting quarterback, and let's start there. John Adams wrote a piece on Joey Football in the Knoxville News-Sentinel. And, John, the good news is that there's good news with Joey Football. Tell me about it.
Well, I think he has a lot of attributes, and we have no idea what he's going to do. Any more than you know how a player will do in a transition maybe from high school to college as a freshman. I mean, he's transitioning from the Sun Belt to the SEC. But I tried to look at some different things with him other than just the stats. I think the most alarming negative stat of his is the 14 interceptions he threw last year. And who's your film guy that studies the quarterback? Is it Austin Brooks or Brooks Austin?
Our film guy, yep.
Yeah, well, which one is it? I want to get it right. Is it Austin Brooks or Brooks Austin?
We bring him on.
Brooks
yeah, that's
Austin.
right.
Brooks
yeah,
Austin.
Brooks Austin, of course.
Okay.
You're asking me this. I'm on the.
Okay,
I ain't slept for 5 weeks, and I'm the one supposed to be asking the questions around here. Go ahead.
Thanks for clarity there, Matt. Yeah, he was talking about how Joey Aguilar was under a lot of pressure there last year. He didn't play on a really good team. Clemson beat Appalachian State 66-20. As awful as that can be at times, one of the things it does for a quarterback is it tests him. How can he handle adversity? How can he handle duress? How can he play when the game is kind of hopeless and he's just trying to make stuff happen? I went back and looked at Josh Allen when he was at Wyoming. I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame. I think he's already done enough to make the the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There at Buffalo, was certainly one of the more talented quarterbacks of all time. In his first season as a starter at Wyoming, it's an 8-win team, but he was under constant duress, and he threw 15 interceptions. Oregon beat his team 49-13. He was 9 of 24 for 64 yards. I mean, you watch a guy play like that against a team, a skilled team such as Oregon, and it's obviously going to make you wonder how good is he. But it shows you how bad things can be for a quarterback and how you can't really judge quarterbacks solely on stats. I also looked at more video of Aguilar. One of the things I liked about him was he didn't shy away from contact when he needed to. When he was close to the goal line, there was a play where he lowered his shoulder and busted into the end zone, broke a tackler. Obviously, you don't want him taking on linebackers constantly in the SEC, but it kind of shows you some qualities he has. And just watching him throw the ball, he has a strong arm. He's pretty accurate on the deep ball. So I think there's an upside for him, and I'm not, I'm not pretending to say I know he's going to be successful, but I just think there's a real chance of an upside with him and potential.
Matt Dixon, who jumped in there. Thank you, Matt, for saving the day. I don't even know my name right now, let alone Brooks Austin.
Tony
But
Basilio, that's your name.
Thank you. Is that my first name or my last name? Hey, Matt.
Sure.
Thanks. Your thoughts on what John's bringing to the table here? A message of hope and love.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some experience. Is willing to take chances and throw deep balls, which it sounds like that's his best. One of his better attributes is just letting it rip. Obviously, the turnovers and interceptions are a concern, but we've talked about it before, how in Heupel's offense, you don't really make throws in the coverage very often. It's kind of an offense that takes away a lot of those negative plays, just the way it's run. So if you can mitigate those and then figure out a way to gel with your receivers that I guess are getting healthy, you can have some success, and there's at least a little bit of potential there. I don't think anybody expects him to be an all SEC quarterback or anything like that, but there's enough there to give you some hope.
And the interesting thing about him is, and Brian, I bring you in, one of the discussion points we had yesterday is we don't need for this guy to be a hero. You kind of need this guy to keep the car in the middle of the road. That's what they need from him. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Nico was a hero at all. And he just kind of kept things in the middle of the road most of the time. And that wasn't what we thought we'd get from him, but they ended up winning 10 games with a good defense like they have this year. Now, this year they have unproven playmakers. Last year, their perimeter receivers were all banged up at one time or another. Their top three guys were all hurt. Seems like you got the exact same thing going on this year. So if they can answer the question about who their offensive line's going to be, and if they can get the running game to gel, you might be, the hope is, and upside is, you could be looking at a similar record from this year to last year. This year is last year.
Yeah, it's kind of where we are. So, I guess some people are surprised that they went ahead and named Aguilar the starting quarterback now. Why? Because here's the message, Matt. They better hope this guy stays healthy. Better hope this guy stays healthy. This guy didn't stay healthy, you're in a world of hurt with this football team. This guy has to stay healthy.
Yeah, which it was the case last year as well. and maybe we're a little too cautious with Nico and with how he was not willing to run except in some of the bigger games. So yeah, that's something you have to worry about because he's got to stay healthy because obviously whatever we think of Aguilar, the drop off after him is at least somewhat significant because by all accounts it doesn't sound like Jake Merklinger had a very good fall camp.
Well, that's the case most places though, because backup quarterbacks quality don't stick around anymore. They go where they can play. So lots of SEC schools are going to be looking at that as a problem if they're healthy, if they're started and remain healthy.
I find that to be a highly accurate statement that Brian just made. It's a deal at a lot of these places where these guys don't stay healthy. We're in big trouble. So one other little item here, and that's that this Hyder kid is coming down. Matt, maybe he picks the Vols. It's coming down in a few minutes. Maybe he picks Tennessee. Who knows? But if he doesn't, it's going to kind of continue their run of getting close with some of these high-level backs and missing. I sure would love to see one of these high-level backs one of these days in this offense. I think that'd be very fun. It's interesting they've gotten this close with him, even if they don't get him.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to miss on an elite guy like that, and it would be fun to see that potential in this offense. But we've talked about it. You get 5-star production out of whoever's in your backfield in this offense. It's most people have finally come around to it that it's really a power run game, that everything's built off of that, and that's been the case with whoever's been in the backfield, and they've done a really nice job. Developing their guys. But yeah, it would be nice to have, a guy, an uber talented guy back there, and just to see what you could get. That would be fun.
And John, it is kind of an interesting thing. And again, this hitter kid is, I call him Hyder, whatever. I want to say his name's Hitter better than Hyder, because sometimes you get in the box, you swing and you miss, and sometimes you can hit one. I don't know. That was bad. But the deal is, with a guy like him, is I would love to see one of these tremendously talented running backs. It's okay. I mean, good college backs work in Heupel's offense. We know that. But it would really be interesting to see them get an elite back in this offense. That's just something I'd like to see. And so far, they haven't been able to do it. And really, at wide receiver, too, they've struggled finding those types of players as well.
Tony, if you go back, so with Dylan Sampson, I mean, how much more would you get out of a running back, regardless of how many stars he has by his name coming in, than you would Dylan Sampson last year? He was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you would not call him an elite back?
Sampson?
Yeah.
He's not in the form of this kid, no. He's a nice player, though.
But I mean, you don't know what this kid's going to do yet.
Yeah, I mean, Sampson was a nice college football player, but he wasn't like I'm talking about these really, really great players.
Okay.
Like his kid that played at Boise last year. That's the kind of player I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a great example. But I mean, I didn't think he was on a different planet than Dylan Sampson was. I mean, Dylan Sampson did a lot of things well. He broke tackles. He had speed. So I'm not putting down Dylan Sampson. I think maybe I have a little higher opinion of him than you did. But let's go all the way to the top. Let's go put a Reggie Bush in this offense. I mean, I think when I look at college football, the two running backs that stand out to me above all others are Herschel Walker and Reggie Bush for different reasons. Mm-hmm. But Reggie Bush in this offense, with his explosiveness, his cutting ability, his speed, and his ability to catch the ball, split out wide to the, as a receiver as well, not just in the slot. I think that's what you would like to see, because you see the numbers that everybody seems to put up good numbers in this offense. In Josh Heupel's offense, Tennessee has not had a faulty running game. It's been very efficient, very productive.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, it's been you go back and you think through the years, you think of running games, you think of Alabama with so many great running backs, Georgia with some great running backs, and Tennessee hasn't had those kind of running backs necessarily, like a Garrison Hurst or a Derrick Henry, those kind of guys, and you wonder in this offense how many more yards they might get. But they're always good. They're right there at the top under Heupel. So that's one of the things. You go into the season, there's so many question marks on offense, but you got a track record now, so you can say, okay, the running game will be effective. You got 4 years of evidence there, so you count different running backs, different style running backs, a star in Dylan Sampson, and then a running back group by committee. And you can look even deeper into it and see Josh Heupel. We talked about it last week with guys like Ish Witter at Missouri that nobody really heard of before or since, who had piled up a lot of yardage for Missouri in that offense.
Well, what would Jamal Lewis or Travis Henry or Travis Stevens look like?
That's my point, Bri.
Well,
I want to see one of these elite guys that we used to get. I want to see one of those guys in this. That's not too much to ask. I mean, and here's the thing. On his table right now, this is the most college football 2025 thing ever. The hats on the table right now as he gets ready to walk up there are Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Tennessee. Those are the 4 hats on the table. So Tennessee's made the hat. They've made the podium. And it looks like by most accounts out there, if not all accounts, he's expected to pick Michigan, but who knows?
Well, you never know. And Tony,
never know, man.
Do you know it's over? I mean, we're in August still. You still got to go to December, and these guys change their mind. This is not a signing, and I think commitments mean less than ever in the NIL era. So, I mean, yeah, if he picks Michigan, you would think he would go to Michigan. I go back to the guy I think of that I would most like to see in this offense. That I think that would have fit it very well would have been Chuck Webb, who I still look at as in all the time I've been here in Knoxville. He's the running back. Even over Jamal. I mean, just in college. We never got to see him in the pros because of an injury. But I just thought in college, and also I think he would really fit this offense. So he was the one guy. But, I mean, do you think a lot of those, when you talk about the elite running backs at Tennessee, I guess that we go back and there was a run of really good ones in the 90s, were they that much better than if you take out Jamal and Chuck Webb, maybe Charlie Garner? Charlie Garner was an elite running back. Would you have taken Charlie Garner over Dylan Sampson?
Every day that ends in Y, yes.
Okay.
How about Aaron Stewart and Hayden? I mean, Little Man Stewart and Hayden.
I would take Dylan Sampson.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do.
What about the Riggs kid? Gerald Riggs Jr.
Dylan Sampson.
Gerald Riggs
Cedric
Sr.
Houston.
Cedric Houston.
Dylan Sampson.
How about you, Bri? You agree with that?
Yeah, with Houston, yes, I would take Sampson.
I would love to see them get an elite back, but we'll see how it goes.
Is it? Are you watching this or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm monitoring. He's about to announce his decision. He's on the podium. He's up there with his family.
I bet Tony gets faked out by who he picks.
And this is
Yeah.
and this is happening in real time. We're moving from right to left across your device. Hey, Matt, what about the Keys kid? The Wilfon guy yesterday from On 3, and you got to kind of follow those people because they're in the space, and really it's their job to pay attention. He kind of deflated Vol Nation yesterday, and basically coming out and saying that he thinks inevitably that guy's going to end up at LSU when it's all said and done. It would sure stink to finish second with both those guys, but it does show you that Tennessee's getting there, right?
I mean, if you're in the conversation, Tennessee's been in the conversation with guys. I mean, Pruitt finished second or third for a bunch of guys that were 5-star types. Their problem was they didn't have a backup plan for those guys when they didn't get them. But, I mean, you obviously need some playmakers and recruiting the best ones you can get. I mean, you can't have enough 5-stars, and Tennessee's certainly lacking in playmakers, so it'd be nice to have some of these guys. But we'll see. It sounds like the Keys kid it almost felt like everybody kind of assumed he was kind of a Tennessee commit already, even though he never really did it publicly. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll see how the season plays out. You don't know what LSU season's going to be. They might be trying to get rid of Brian Kelly in 3 months.
Boy, ain't that the truth. That's really true. That's a fact, John. These days, you have no idea what's going to happen.
No, it's
from 1 minute to the next,
and that's why I say I think there are more factors, more variables than ever in terms of commitment. Who knows? Maybe Texas Tech will offer this guy a couple of $1 million more than anybody else a few months from now. You just can't be sure of this. I mean, I think. What is interesting, though, when you mention the teams this running back is considering today, you've got Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia. Those are that accounts for the last 4 national championships. So Tennessee is right there.
How about that?
With the heavyweights. And I think that's significant. I know you don't always want to come in a second, third, or fourth for these big-time guys. But if you get in the running for enough of them, you're going to get some. And Tennessee already has a commitment from the top-ranked quarterback in the class. So, yeah, I think that's what happens is if you're traveling in those circles, if you're up there with Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan, those teams – those teams are very stout NIL-wise. They're very they've got a great track record for success, for putting guys in the pros. So, all those schools you mentioned that are candidates right now, they've all had a long run of running backs that have been very successful.
Hey, Matt, his head coach is now speaking. Do you have any vibe on this now that his head coach is now speaking? Do you have any vibe on how this thing's going to go from your perspective now that his head coach is speaking?
I don't follow recruiting hardly at all, Tone. So I have no idea. If I pulled it up, I could maybe look at the hats and see which hat looks the best. Because you're not gonna spend a lot of money on a hat you're not gonna use.
What? What? Tony,
I bet the schools provide those kids the hats, right? If I were finishing, I'd want a pretty hat up there right now. But his coach is now speaking, and here we are. We're moments away from what's going to happen here.
Tony, why don't you do this? Let's play pretend radio and pretend that he commits to Tennessee.
No, hell no.
Why not?
I don't want to get my house burned down.
How would that get your house burned down?
I'm not pretending he's committing to Tennessee. Are you kidding me? No. I will tell you this, though. I'm over at I'm over at Andrew's Physical Therapy yesterday, and that's all everybody's talking about. The young guys that were there with Mary Michael Jordan, and one of the guys that was helping with me was really peppering me with questions about the team and the season. And breaking news: 5-star running back Savion Hyder has committed to Michigan. He's 5'11". He's from Mineral, Virginia. The Vols finished second, followed by Ohio State and Georgia. Number 1 running back in the 2026 class. And Michigan continues their run of tremendous backs, and Tennessee continues their trend of being a bridesmaid in spots like this. So next up, the next guy we're going to watch, like Matt said, is this Keys guy. And, of course, with any of these people, none of it's over till it's over. But it is a weird thing in the Heupel era that they get better defensive players than they're getting offensive players. Or, I should say, more highly ranked defensive players than offensive players. And that is a strange thing, Matt. That is that's not something that was on my bingo card 5 years ago, Matt, that right there. Now, they do have they do have the top quarterback coming in next year. You have to say that. But you would think with the top quarterback, they would be able to add guys around him and add pieces around him. And it didn't really materialize around Nico either. It's really strange, guys. That is a strange thing that's gone on here.
Yeah, it is. Because outside of quarterbacks, you haven't really landed elite guys there consistently. The one thing I think it might be is I just think the defensive coaching staff is just a whole lot better than the offensive side, and especially as recruiters, you got a bunch of younger guys who are kind of inexperienced on the offensive side. Plus, Glenn Ellerby. I just think your defensive staff is a whole lot better than the offensive staff, and that plays out in recruiting and development even.
How much do you think a factor is now with players? We say Michigan's had a long run of running backs. Ohio State certainly has. The putting guys in the pros thing. You look at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think recruits look and see Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, 2 future Hall of Famers, were on the same team at LSU? But that was in 2019. Do you think recruits now relate those kind of players to those teams that, well, I know they get wide receivers in the pros, Malik Neighbors, LSU has a long run of receivers going into the pros. I wonder how much does that weigh when you also can counter it with NIL money. I'm not sure if that means as much as it used to.
I think that's right. I think that thing with the wide receivers and the offense and they need a guy to stick. The thing that happened to Rick Barnes that really how do you say this? Turbocharged what started to happen here at Tennessee was when Grant Williams developed and became a solid NBA basketball player. And then it didn't hurt that Josh Richardson got in the league and stuck. That kind of thing. It has to be said. The 2 receivers on the high-powered offense for Tennessee thus far in the NFL, one guy's kind of a bust, and the other guy is sort of a non-factor. Both of those guys have not been. Have not been. Go ahead, Bri.
Could that be the teams they're on? I mean, one's with the Browns, and you know about that. And the Giants have just been, as far as QB play goes, they've just been, how do you say it, awful in that regard. I don't know
if you think about it, when Dabo Swinney got hot at Clemson,
them or it's just the teams they're on.
No, it's them. It's not the teams they're on. It's them. What do you mean it's the teams they're on? That's idiotic. No, it's them. Those guys have they've just not done it. And you need somebody to do it out of your camp. I remember when Clemson kind of came from nowhere, and all of a sudden they started getting all these 5-star wide receivers because they would just turn them out one after the other, after the other, after the other, and there was a huge graphic they had up there for a while. That's how you get hot at a position. I mean, that's how you do it.
The
look at
problem
LSU.
there is none of the wide receivers from this system going back to Art Briles at Baylor, 15 years ago. None of these receivers have ever really done anything in the pros.
And that's
our
a problem.
Quarterbacks too.
That's a problem.
It's just not I think the college and NFL game. The NFL started adapting more of the college game here the last 5 or so years, but still. It's just a totally different offense that you can't run in the NFL, and it's a huge adjustment. And a lot of these guys just haven't been able to make it. Like I really don't think any receiver or quarterback that ran this system has had a really successful NFL career.
That's a really interesting observation. There for a while, RG3 did it, Matt, but he didn't do it for long enough. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys. The Duggan kid just got cut by the Spring League. Down there at TCU, that's a very interesting observation on your part. The Eagles.
You're looking at Jalen Daniels right now. They've got sort of one for the Redskins.
Matt, does that qualify as your? Does Daniels qualify as somebody out of that offense? I don't think he qualifies.
I don't even know who that is. Is that a guy from TCU?
No, he's talking about the kid that played at LSU, the Daniels kid.
The quarterback.
LSU doesn't run the
they don't run that offense.
It's a totally different offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, let's go back here.
They don't run the fear and shoot. They don't spread the field.
Let's go back to one other thing. And
but
then
Daniels was never mind.
And then we'll get some phone calls in. If you could think of people that have come out of that offense that have developed. Because the Eagles wasted a pick on that Rager guy. And, I mean, they ripped Howie Roseman in Philly when they drafted him. And he played in one of those offenses, and he couldn't do it. It's very strange. Because John's right. I think that's a thing that's being used against them in recruiting is the concept of, hey, look, if you want to develop as a pro player, you go play at Alabama or you go play at Georgia. If you want to have a good college career, go to Tennessee. I think they're using that on these people. I really do. And I don't know how you get around that. I know one thing. Rick Barnes and those people internally at Tennessee know, even though Barnes had that pedigree of developing those NBA players, if you look at it, since he's come here, and then last year with Dalton Connect, and then this year with the kid that had Dalton Connect's gig, they swung and missed on a couple guys at shooting guard, but it wasn't because they weren't involved. They were involved with the elite of the elite out of the portal. One guy couldn't get in. He was basically committed. But they didn't have his major. It was very strange, the kid from Virginia. But once you develop that credibility, that's what Nate Ament's doing here right now. Nate Ament would not be here if Barnes didn't have in his back pocket Kevin Durant, and then several of the guys. I mean, hell, there's still some guys from Texas that are still playing in the NBA. And Barnes has been gone there from there 10 years. He's got 15 guys. He's got 15-year, 16-year guys that are still in the NBA playing. So he's got the credibility.
Tony,
those guys want that credibility.
Yeah, I know that's been a factor, but do you think it's less of a factor now because of NIL? I mean, can you trump all that track record and success going to the next level if you offer enough money? Is that a way?
I don't know. They haven't so far. I mean, to Matt's point, they've it's been good enough to finish second. And look, I agree with you guys. When you look at those 4 hats that are up there, 3 of those hats, Michigan, they've got a tainted national championship, but they have a national championship. Ohio State, we know about. That's ridiculous. The amount of talent, it's Death Star, with the amount of talent they're amassing and all the spending that's going on there. And then Georgia, we know about Georgia. And I think it's good that Tennessee finished the second for him. I mean, that's certainly a positive. It's better than you were doing, a couple years ago or a coaching staff ago. But it's still interesting. Because eventually you got to land a couple of these guys on offense. Eventually, this thing always becomes about playmakers, or you got to develop your own.
Well, I think it would be more crucial, but a wide receiver than a running back. I wouldn't be that worried about how Tennessee stacks up at running back with the way this system works. I would rather, if I had my choice, if I could get a Julio Jones or A.J. Brown or DJ Metcalf, whoever. I mean, just get the elite wide receiver: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, one of those kind of guys, because that's the way the game is now. Wide receivers are coveted more than running backs are. That's at the pro level, and we're seeing it in college. Think about this past season, this off season. We've talked a lot about Tennessee's failure in transfer portal with wide receivers, but all the wide receivers that were out there, and they were out there in the portal, and they all landed, in pretty good situations, and you just got you look at that and you think, yeah, those guys, more NIL money's going to wide receivers than running backs, don't you think?
Yeah, again, Matt might have hit on it. I think eventually you need one of these guys, just one guy, to get in an NFL camp and break out, and somebody you can point to and go, hey. Because, look, I mean, LSU's got the guy, when you're going up against his keys, and he does share a shoe company with Tennessee right now, does share the same shoe company next year, which won't hurt. That will not hurt. But when you've got LSU and you've got the elite of the elite of the elite in that sport right now playing at the NFL level, I mean, there are several of them that have come out of there, and it makes it very difficult. It just does. And so eventually we need somebody to stick. 865-200-5402. John Adams is with us on a Tuesday. Hyder is on his way to Michigan. We'll take a brief time out if you want to jump in. But the good news is, for this upcoming season, John thinks that Joey Aguilar, here's a question I'm going to ask the panel. Could he play at a higher level than Nico played last year? Could he do that? Is he capable of doing that? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. And then we have some stuff in the bottom of the blog about what Nico's walked into. That UCLA team, if they win 4 football games, that'll be a nice season for them. And I am not kidding. We were deep diving on them last night, me and C, and they lost their top 11 tacklers. Top 11 tacklers from last year. Their game went on the board like 8 days ago with Utah as a pick'em. Utah's now a 7-point favorite. Huh? Take a brief time. Maybe Nico shocks the world. Who knows? Maybe at the end of that game when he's sitting in his ice bath, he's saying to himself, what in the world have I done here? I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be more the latter than the former as we continue with more right after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
This is one of the last home stands to see your Knoxville Smokies play this season. This week will be full of celebrations with All-You-Can-Eat Wednesday and Titans Night on Thursday. You could win a free Titans autographed jersey and tickets to an upcoming game. Then the weekend is packed with fireworks on Friday. Saturday is UT Night with a Dylan Sampson bobblehead giveaway and fireworks, and our day game of the week on Sunday. Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Knoxville Smokies. The end of summer means big savings and no more excuses to not call Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Don't let plumbing or HVAC problems follow you into fall, and take care of them now while the kids head back to school. Whether it's a leaky pipe, outdated water heater, or AC unit struggling to keep up, the expert team at Pipe Wrench is here to help you transition smoothly into fall with a home that's running efficiently and worry-free. This month only, enjoy 10% off any plumbing or HVAC service, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. And Peace of Mind Maintenance Plan members will get an additional 10% off for 20% in total savings. From repairs to tune-ups to replacements, we'll help you check home comfort off your end of summer or back to school to-do list. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. So don't let HVAC or plumbing issues slow you down this season, and don't delay as the offer ends August 31st. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, Their mama's easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
TB back with you as we welcome you in. It 865-200-5402. John, you wrote about John Adams with us today, presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. You buy, sell, or trade a home. Don't you dare do it without the great Jennifer Morris. You bow thy head when you say thy name. John, do we expect Joey Aguilar, do you expect him to play at a higher level than Nico did last year?
That might be too much to ask, but I guess it's just I don't know. It's kind of, but I think it's possible. And the very idea that it's possible, I guess, further questions how good Nico was. I mean, you know, here I was last year writing that Nico Yamaleava was a Heisman Trophy candidate, but I wasn't. I was hardly the only one. I've gone back and read some things. You know, Urban Meyer just raved about him. Nick Saban raved about him. Hendon Hooker said he referred to him as the chosen one. So everybody thought Nico was going to be a superstar. Not everyone, but a lot of people did. That he wasn't just going to be pretty good. He was going to. And looking back, what was he? He was. I guess he got you to the playoffs. He beat Alabama. What would you say? And you sum him up. Would you say he was an average SEC quarterback, slightly above average?
Matt, what do you say to that? And can Joey Aguilar play to the level of the quarterback play we got last year?
Well, he certainly could. I think this team might need the quarterback to do more than what they asked Nico to do last year, because I don't think you're going to be quite as good defensively, and I'm not sure your running game is going to be as consistent and as good as it was last year with Sampson. So I think you might need the quarterback to do more. He'll almost certainly have better stats if that's what you're asking. But you know, you just after that Oklahoma game, you didn't really ask Nico to do a ton, and because you were relying on your defense and running game to win games, and it took you to the playoffs. So I think he can easily match the stats. I don't know if, you know, I mean, he's just such an unknown right now that it'll be interesting to see. That it's the thing that's frustrating is, you know, Nico was going to be better. You just didn't know how much better.
That's right.
And that's going to be that unknown that we never, like you say, UCLA's a 4-win team. Oh. What if he elevates them to 6 wins? Like that what if will always be frustrating. But I think Aguilar will have the stats for sure.
I think if he stays healthy, he will. Tony brought up something I think that's really interesting early in the show. He talked about how important, and Matt commented on it too, how important it was for Aguilar to stay healthy. So you're concerned about what Tennessee has in reserve there. Go back to last year. It was the very same thing with Nico. And here's another thing I was wrong of about Nico. I thought he had great running instincts for a quarterback. And that was all based on what we saw in the bowl game against Iowa when he was the MVP of the game and he ran for 3 touchdowns. He seemed to know when and where to run inside the 20-yard line. I thought that really elevated my opinion of him because I knew he had the arm. I wonder if Tennessee coached some of that out of him with good intentions because it was so fearful. What if he goes down? If Nico had gone down last year, where would Tennessee have been? It wouldn't have made the playoff. Okay, it made the playoff with him. But so what? I just wonder if that changed to Nico, how Nico played. If he was less apt to take off and run.
Yes, I think so. 100%. 100% he was coached to not do that.
Okay, we'll see, Matt. That to me, he took away one of his great assets because when I saw him run, I never saw the runner I saw against Iowa. And remember, that was a good Iowa defense. I never saw that runner again. He didn't run instinctively. It's almost as though when he ran, he was thinking, okay, do I need to go down here or can I go run for 2 more yards and then go down? It's almost like he's thinking, imagine a base stealer worried about how he was going to slide as he ran down the base pass. He just didn't look like the same player that I saw in that one game in the Citrus Bowl.
To the phones we go at 865-200-5402. Something happened between that Citrus Bowl and last season. And Tennessee might need to keep the wheels on Joey Football in the same way here, guys.
Yeah, but
he might be under similar orders. But if they do that to him, they're going to take his part of what I think can make him effective in this offense, which is the broken play. And the ability to create things downfield, keep plays alive, and create things.
Yeah, and I think when you're committed,
Nico had too.
Yeah. When you're, see, that's another thing. Yeah, you talk about Nico didn't throw interceptions very often, but he didn't.
It seems like Josh Dobbs threw better when he could run.
Well. Yeah, but he was a different kind of player. Now he was a force in the running game, and he was the best thing. And I wrote about this in evaluating Aguilar. He wasn't hurt at App State. I think durability is a real underrated value of a quarterback. And if Joey Aguilar has that ability to take hits, be it as a runner or in pass pocket, if he can do that and keep going and stay healthy, man, that's quite an attribute to have.
To the phones we go. Let's start things off.
Would it surprise you to know that Nico ran for 150 more yards than Aguilar did last year, despite being an unwilling runner?
Wow. Yikes.
So I don't know if Aguilar can give you a running threat or not, but Nico almost doubled his rushing total last year.
Could it be, Matt, that they were down 2 touchdowns in just about every game and they didn't need him running around by that point, that they were I'd be curious to see what his rushing numbers looked like the year before when they had a little more semblance of a team around him and they were successful on offense. But let's go to the phones and get Polish Power in here. Let's get the Polish one in here.
Happy John Adams Day, gentlemen.
Hey, Paulie.
How we doing, guys?
Good, Paul. How you doing?
Doing good. I don't understand why anyone would want to come and play for Heupel? I mean, on bye weeks, you get to parade out with Morgan Wallen concert. You get to see your quarterbacks have an MMA fight in the middle of the locker room during a bye week. Man, I mean, heck, you could have 20 of your family members at all the team practices. Why wouldn't you want to go?
Andy told us it was the nation of 3,000. Not that I want to correct you. And they're not doing one of those concerts this fall, are they? Have you guys heard? Are we doing one of those concerts, or was that kind of a one-off deal, guys? I haven't heard of one.
I think that was a one-off.
Yep.
The problem I got with Heupel, Tony, is this is your fifth year, man. Just because one kid leaves at any position, a decent, healthy program should have 2 or 3 people ready to play. And we don't.
5 years ago, you could have said that at quarterback. Not these days. These days, you're not going to keep a quarterback on your roster that can help you. Look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame names a quarterback in the spring, and they're still not sure who their starter is. But Steve Angeli jumped out of there. First chance he got, he jumped out of there.
Both of these two are double the players Riley Leonard will ever be. They're in good shape.
Good luck with that.
And in the championship game in the Final Four, Tony, we played. Notre Dame played 2 freshman offensive linemen to start in injuries, and you didn't even know there was a difference.
But the point is, back in the day, Angeli would have stayed on their roster. He would have stayed on their roster back in the day.
Recruiting, Tony. Heupel is not recruiting. I don't know why he isn't.
Well, he has a top 10 class.
Where are they, John? The only one that really played was Boo Carter last year. Matthews somewhat. Nowhere else. I mean, that's another thing you said. Why is it that Nico was better the first day he came on campus than the last day?
Well, we're saying that he was better in the bowl game, not the first day he came on campus.
He didn't progress. He didn't get coached.
Well,
I mean, how could you when you have 20 family members on the sideline during practice? Think he was focused? Whose fault's that? Who's running the show?
He had 20 family members on the sideline?
He would bring a pretty good gaggle with him. Well, I guess we're off to a rousing start here. And, Matt, did you notice Paulie said we when he was talking about Notre Dame? Did you hear that little slip out of his mouth? Did you catch that, Matt Dixon?
I did. I mean, he was up there for their playoff game. Unfortunately, didn't make it in, but he was intending to be there.
865-200-5402 is the numero dos. Josh Heupel's going to speak in about 20. We'll have it for you. And then we'll react in real time to that. John Adams is with us. Matt Dixon's in the house, as is the great Brian Hartman, who is in rare form today. We're going to continue on the other side. We're one day away from my Lady Vols kicking it late night style out in Westwood against UCLA. Let it be known that the first ever NIL deal on UT's campus was done between John Adams and an athlete on campus. A true NIL deal, a true endorsement deal. And that was with one of the Lady Vol soccer players. That'll never be forgotten. I think, John, was that 3 years ago, John? I think that was 3 years ago.
Claire Rain, unfortunately, she tore up her knee. She started as a freshman, had a good year, then transferred to Florida State when her coach took that job. But she tore up her knee, or she would have been a part of a national championship team. And but I think by endorsing my column and making money, I think it helped her confidence. And whatever she lost as a soccer player, I think as a business person, I think she really learned a lot from that. I think it's going to serve her well the rest of her life.
You the man. We take a brief time out. We come back with more. We're on the other side. It is your Tuesday edition, Hour 2. Heupel meets a depressed, more phone calls, and Hugh Freeze said, "Hold my beer" to the rest of the league. He ain't gonna play one quarterback in their opener against Baylor. He ain't gonna play two. He says we're gonna play three. Now the old saying is, if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have any. What if you have three quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks do you have?
Tony.
And go ahead.
The first Tennessee game I ever covered for the News Sentinel was at the Meadowlands in New Jersey against Iowa, and Hayden Fry was Iowa's coach, and he played three quarterbacks.
Wow.
And he really used that game as like an exhibition. He was all about the Big Ten and trying to win the Big Ten, and he played three quarterbacks. And I don't mean they came in for a play or two. They all got legitimate snaps in the game. Tennessee won. I think that was a big factor in it. He couldn't make up his mind. I guarantee you, though, Lane Kiffin will have fun with Hugh Freeze playing three quarterbacks because he's gigged him a few times on Twitter already. He will be sure and take note of that.
Brief timeout. We come back with more. The kid from Oklahoma last year. Wait a minute. That class of quarterbacks that year is a family tree that doesn't fork. So we continue with more on the other side right after this.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
Hey, Tony B listeners, I'm Billy from Grade A Grounds, a UT grad bringing Knoxville a better way to raise money. We roast premium coffee fully branded for your team or cause. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% to local needs. Let's win on and off the field. Visit gradeagrounds.com to start your winning fundraiser today.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair. And they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms. And I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789.
Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402. Let's go back to our phones. John, 3 quarterbacks playing. Matt, do you like the Hugh Freeze era? Before we go back to the phones, Matt, are you for or against the Hugh Freeze era at this point and the playing of the 3 quarterbacks?
Oh, I'm for it because they also have 3 different play callers as well.
What a disaster.
What
are we
that's
doing?
A train wreck that's already happening. It's just,
But they got like 5 more national championships now.
They're saying to Tennessee, you think your last decade was dysfunctional? Hold my brewski. Hold my Cosmo. Let's go back to the phones. And we'll get Rusty in here, who's up next with us. Josh Heupel coming up here momentarily. Rusty, welcome in.
Tony, I'm disappointed.
Yes.
You did not set me up for a great one-liner to pop John Adams like you did last week.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about anybody else, but hearing John Adams chuckle for as long as he did was a great moment in my call history.
Well, when you pop John Adams, it's a great feeling because he's got a great comic wit about him, so it takes a lot to get him going.
Yep. Gabe Davis is probably the guy under Heupel's offense that's had the most NFL success as a skill player. He was really, really good in Buffalo with those teams that went to 3 consecutive AFC championship games.
That's interesting. Gabe Davis. That's right. That's the
one that I can think of. Because Tillman and Hyatt still both are trying, but I think Hyatt being in with the Giants is really crushed him. And anyway, I'm like Dixie. I used to follow recruiting really closely. I don't anymore because there's so much fluctuation and changes. But with when kids are on the roster and we have a roster that the kids can't jump in the portal, then I'll kind of look at where they were rated and things like that. It is interesting that the offense is going to have 2 5-star tackles, 2 4-stars in the interior of the offensive line, a 3-star in the interior of the offensive line starting. The receiving corps is going to be a 5-star, a 4-star, and a 3-star, assuming Brazel's good to go. And then you're going to have, a couple 4-star running backs. There's across the board what these guys were rated out of high school. It's pretty high.
The defensive front, when you look at Tennessee's defensive depth chart, the defensive front goes too deep in 4-stars.
And a couple 5s, yeah.
Yeah.
Ross and Hobbs, yeah.
I'm just thinking 4 or better. Yeah. So, they've done a tremendous job of recruiting defensive linemen. And
how about this, John? Jermod McCoy was the 227th rated cornerback in America out of high school.
Well, and he's if not for his injury, his knee injury, we don't know when he'll return. But if not for that, he would have been probably a first-team preseason All-American. He may have been anyway.
He was. He is an AP first-team All-American corner.
So
with the injury.
So when you go back and look at where Tennessee was, I guess the first year, particularly first couple of years, mainly the first year, right away we saw this productive, high-scoring Heupel offense, and I think the question was, but you can't defend the pass. Remember how Kenny Pickett picked apart Tennessee? That I guess that was this Heupel's second team.
No, that was the first.
That was the first. Yeah, Kenny Pickett picked it apart. Future NFL quarterback and good receivers. And the defensive front is like the star group, but the secondary has really improved too. You got a few 4-stars back there, and then to get a player like McCoy out of the portal was so significant.
And apparently the Hood kid's showing signs as well out of the portal.
Well,
hey,
think if they would have had this secondary with Heupel's first team
or his second team. Just how about that 22 team that went 10-2 with the loss to South Carolina and Georgia, and finished number 6 in the country. If they'd had last year's defense, even. But let's talk about other teams if their quarterbacks go down with the recruiting depth. What happens if Lagway goes down? What happens if Nussmeier goes down? Who's behind Ty Simpson? Who's behind Ladoris Sellers down in South Carolina? Who's behind Arch Manning? Who's behind Jalen or the Sayin kid up at Ohio State?
You're
Do
right.
any of these teams have backup quarterbacks?
You're right. I thought it's kind of an underrated addition in the off season was LSU got Mississippi State's quarterback. He started half the season as a freshman, put up 31 points on Georgia's defense. He's got some skills, but you look at most of these schools. Particularly, I mean, I'm just most familiar with the SEC. Ole Miss might be in pretty good shape with A.J. Maddox, but you look at Georgia and Alabama, and it's hard to have to be really sound as in your quarterback depth now because of the portal. Guys don't stick around. And
if your quarterback's injured, would you rather go to Harrison Bailey or George McIntyre?
Yeah, point made. Florida's got a big problem there, but because you also have to consider Lagway's durability issues because he's had. I really like him as a quarterback. He could be one of the best in the country, but he's got that history, that nagging history of different injuries, not just one, but just things keep popping up with him. And you go back, Anthony Richardson had the same thing early on in his career at Florida, and he's had the problem in the pros. That's why I think durability is such an underrated ability for quarterbacks. Yes. Look at 3 of Tennessee's most productive, successful quarterbacks. Joshua Dobbs, even though he ran repeatedly, I mean, this guy was a force in the open field. Broke tackles, took on contact. He didn't break down. Peyton Manning, completely different type quarterback. And I know he had a good offensive line, and he got rid of the ball quickly. But Peyton Manning, he kept playing. He was always out there. And Casey Clausen took some hits, wasn't really a runner, but he wasn't afraid to run and would do it sometimes at the goal line, but he was so durable. He got hurt a couple of times, but never, those guys, they never went down for an extended period of time, and think how much difference that made in those Tennessee seasons is that they would stay healthy.
Normal schedule here this week. Got our guys starting school, so I like what we've done throughout the course of training camp. Still got some time here before we get to kickoff. Some things that we got to clean up, all 3 phases of the game. But looking forward to this week, continuing to grow, and then ultimately getting ready for Syracuse and getting ready to go play ball. So, open it up here.
Josh, you've had a lot of different quarterbacks over the years. Tall, short, runner, thrower, all different kinds. When you bring in a new quarterback that you haven't coached in the game yet, what's the key to resetting your brain to match that particular quarterback skill set with the details of the offense?
Yeah, ultimately in the pass game, there's certain things that they may be most confident in as you game plan week to week. That's a part of it. But some things that you put in to attack certain things that you see on film. You try to get them to understand the why behind it. Offensively, it changes from year to year. You change from year to year. It starts with, quarterback and offensive line and, where you can put your skill players to have success. And Joey, through this week and really what he's done through training camp, learning what we're doing offensively, as we get ready for Syracuse here at the end of the week, then making sure that, the things that are in play, he feels good about. And I think, that's one of the things with young quarterbacks and with new quarterbacks is getting them to be transparent in those things.
What impressed you most about what Joey did, not only during the summer, but during camp too, when he had to go out and win the job?
Yeah, first of all, that entire room competed at a really high level. They competed the right way too. They pushed each other in a positive way in the meeting room, out on the practice field. I think our team has great confidence in all of those guys. Joey, through the course of training camp, each and every day continued to grow and take steps and understanding what we're doing and comfort level. Played well in the scrimmages, had good command, and that ultimately led to the decision that we made.
You kind of alluded to it there at the end, but what was it about Joey Aguilar that made you believe you had the best chance on Saturdays to win with him at the helm?
Yeah, I said it a second ago, but got great trust in all those guys. And the strength of one position room, quarterback included, can never just be one guy. Those guys have all grown, but I think, Joey coming in May, having to learn the offense throughout the, late spring, summertime, getting his, feet on the grass with our guys, learning how we practice, but also growing each day, just continued to trend upward in his comfort and control and command of what we're doing. That's decision-making and accuracy with the football, our checks that he controls. You put all that together, and that's ultimately why we made the decision.
Austin and Rob. Where are you at with your center battle right now between Satterwhite and Pendleton? Yeah,
both those guys have competed really well, grown here during the course of our practices. Still competition. Going to need both of them as we get to the fall, too.
Coach, in 2022, you guys were pyrotechnics on offense, had great success. The last 2 years, you've sustained success on the field playing a completely different way, especially in the line of scrimmage. Have you changed as a coach being in this league, or is your person, or you just adapted to your personnel?
I think it's a combination. What defenses you're seeing, how you can attack them, put your guys in a position to be successful, and then your personnel changes, and that certainly starts with your quarterback, but it's the other 10 on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Josh, what do you like about defensive tackle, some of those young guys that might be pressed into action now with Hobbs sidelined a few weeks?
Yeah, those guys have done a really good job. You look at where they were in January when they got here, the player that they were in spring ball, and then the growth of what they're doing here in training camp. Ethan Utley, explosive, playing twitchy at the line of scrimmage, doing a good job at the point of attack. Isaiah Campbell, wide hip, but strong, explosive power. Both those guys continue to grow in a really good way.
You guys have talked all fall camp about you don't have time to be young. How do you know as a head coach when a young player is ready? What do you look for to know when a young player is ready to be in the spotlight in the game?
Well, sometimes it takes being in the spotlight and being in the game to truly understand. But you're looking for the trends of what they're doing in the meeting room, their ability to communicate. That can be offensively, their assignment, defensively, all the checks that go into it. The ability to play the next play during the course of practice, how they respond to something that didn't go their way. But ultimately here in training camp, the way they compete on a consistent basis with fundamentals, technique, being assignment sound, and playing as hard as you can from snap to whistle.
Coach, can you just kind of update us, personnel-wise at receiver? Is Brazel healthy, and Mike
Yeah, Mike's been with us for a long time. There were a couple of days where we limited him. Chris has been with us here the last few days, and Braylon was with us this last day as well.
Coach, you've talked about the decision to name Joey. What's the other part of that conversation for you, like as a coach, when you're telling the quarterbacks about it? What's your message to Jake and George coming out of this?
Yeah, first of all, I met with all of them at the same time. You recognize, I've been in that situation on both sides of it, and you understand that there's going to be, heartache, disappointment, and if it's not that way, then you got a real problem. It was a tough decision for us. We talked about it with those guys. I think the transparency of that breeds confidence in what they're all hearing at the same time. And so at the same time, through that night, there's the pain of disappointment, right? And coming the next day, you got to find a way to be a great teammate, be the same guy that you have, continue to compete. You name a starter, but you never know when your opportunity is coming. And this message was given to those guys as we sat in the room together. It was given to the entire team too. You got to prepare yourself for when your opportunity is going to come to take advantage of that. And Merck's been great in the building, energy, focus. George has been the same way. Just want those guys to continue to grow.
Josh, I guess it's kind of the nature of college football that you're going to have some new starters every year, but in terms of what is going on offense right now, when you're going into, an off season with whatever it is, 9, 10 new starters on that side of the ball, how much more urgency or does that put, or does that change the plan, for the summer, and how much progression have you seen getting to this point?
Well, we've talked about it with our players, but we've talked about it, I've talked about it with our staff too. You got to be elite in your ability to teach and help these guys grow through every phase of our off season. And our staff's done a great job. Our young guys have been highly competitive, highly diligent in their ability to grow every single day. And we're not a finished product. Good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the year. You got to take advantage of every day. But our young guys have prepared in a really good way, and I think they're extremely confident right now. And there's a lot of growth that's got to happen before the first kickoff, certainly. But if they continue to attack it, we'll be ready to go play.
Josh, you've called Boo day to day, or that situation day to day. Where does that currently stand? And then what does he have to do between now and kickoff for Syracuse to be back in that fray as far as being able to play? Yeah,
Boo's continued to grow in the things that we're asking him to be a great teammate inside of this building every single day. And the charge for him, but for all of us, is to continue to do that. And Boo's continued to grow in what he's doing on the field. So I'm excited and pleased with a lot of things that we've seen from him.
In the wide receiver room with Amari Jefferson, what have you seen from him? What role do you expect maybe he'll have this season?
Yeah, Amari coming off of the hip surgery as he onboarded here, was limited throughout the course of the workout off season, the winter part of it, and then got an opportunity in spring ball to kind of grow on the back half of it a little bit on the football side of it. Did a great job during the course of the summer, dramatically changing his body. He's a guy that's made some plays out there on the practice field and in the stadium during our scrimmages as well. Expect him to continue to grow throughout the course of the fall here.
As a quarterback yourself, you make the announcement 13 days out. How much, the timing of that announcement, how much of that went into, what you went through as a quarterback? Is that the kind of timetable that you would like to have to find out that you have the keys to the offense? Well,
I think, first of all, I said it before, we started our first practice, somebody's got to go take it too. And they went through that, got through 2 scrimmages and another practice. With those guys competing. I think just, how Joey was continuing to grow inside of it. It felt like it was the right time, for him, but for our football team too. And certainly, having this week, knowing that you're going to be the guy, I think gives him a chance to continue to get his feet on the ground and get ready for kickoff here in week and a half.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Josh Heupel meeting the depressed. Guys, any thoughts off the jump?
I feel like I was listening to a garden show. Everybody's growing.
Yep.
Joey's grown. The backup quarterbacks have grown.
Yep.
Offensive line has grown. The defensive tackles have continued to grow. The younger players have continued to grow. Boo Carter has continued to grow.
Yep.
Amari Jefferson grew in the spring.
Yep.
Grow, grow, grow. Go, go, go. So, a garden show. Man, he doesn't give you much, does he?
Matt, anything? Did you draw anything, Matt?
No, not really. A lot of coach speak and a lot of words that don't really say much.
He doesn't tell you anything.
It doesn't make sense that the other two quarterbacks were they expecting to be the starter? It sounds like he wants to make it sound like they were really expecting to be the number one guy when they pretty much knew the deal.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Jeez.
Pretty amazing. It's an unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable, Andy Mack. Josh Heupel has spoken. We on the other side will continue to respond to this. Is Matt Dixon ready for a 40-game NCAA basketball regular season? I want to take Matt Dixon's temperature on that, because these TV networks want more inventory, and these coaches want to play more games in this transfer portal era before we get to the big tournament. So are you ready for some late September basketball? That's the question. I also see where Tennessee, that Duke practice game, or whatever you want to call that thing, the exhibition game, is going to be sold out to the rafters. Does not surprise me. So we continue with more on the other side right after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Although summer is almost over, the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe during extreme East Tennessee weather. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for Advent.
Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Let's go back to our phones. As Josh Heupel just met the press at the University of Tennessee. And we'll get ready to jump back to our phones. John Adams is in the house today. We're making it go with you. Hello and welcome into our next call. I believe this is Dave. Dave. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Hey, Dave. Good to talk to you.
Well, if they don't land, they don't flip the keys, kids. The class is going to end up around about 15, and that's just not special. I hope Heupel makes it here. But Philip Fulmer was not as good a coach as Josh Heupel. He was, but he recruited enough great players to win a national championship. And that's the bottom line. You got to have those great players across the board on both sides of the ball. And I just don't know if he's ever going to. And the thing about it, he can win 9 and every 3 years win 10 games and every 5 years they make the playoffs and then they don't, advance that far. That will get old. It will get old. And he would eventually be run out of here because the noise would get so loud that he can't win the big games, not beating Georgia or whatever it may be. The recruiting is, if he's not going to knock it out of the park in the portal, I just don't know what the answer is.
Hey, John, he brings up an interesting point, Dave does, from the perspective of all these coaches, right? Is it going to be enough with a 12 to 16 team playoff? And Matt, I want your thoughts on this as well. Is it going to be enough in the 12 to 16 team playoff era that we're in now just to make the playoffs at a school like Tennessee, or do you have to advance through the playoffs? John, what is your sense of that, having dealt with the fan base for 40 years now?
No, that won't be enough. No, you expect to compete for a championship. Tennessee made the playoffs last year, and that was a significant step forward because Tennessee has continued to move up under Josh Heupel. The program is far better shape than it was before his arrival. That was a pretty long dead zone that Tennessee was in. But you always have to keep going forward. The thing to remember, too, is Tennessee's fan base is so passionate, so large. It's paying a lot of money. It's investing a lot of money. Tennessee has the NIL support. So, of course, the fan base will expect more than just making a 12 or 16 team playoff, or maybe even will have a 24 or 28 team playoff. However, as far as the recruiting goes, I think Tennessee is recruiting well enough high school-wise. What it has to do, and we've talked about this before, it's really got to upgrade in the portal. That's what I see as a difference maker. That's how the game has changed. And when you can go out and get elite players from the portal, like some of these other teams did this offseason, not just fill a position of need, but upgrade across the board. That's where I would want to invest my NIL money. I'd want to invest it in getting the very best players you can out of the portal.
Hey, Matt, the whole playoff issue that Dave says, because where Tennessee's recruiting right now, if they swing a miss with the kid from LSU, which some are saying that's going to happen, they're pretty good. But in this league, pretty good is not – it's all relative in this league, obviously. It's kind of like the whole baseball deal. We talk about that. A lot of teams put pretty good baseball teams on the field, but what does that mean? Is Dave right, Matt, that people eventually grow disenchanted? Is that going to happen here, there, and everywhere if you don't advance through the playoffs?
Yeah, of course. Now, you have to make the playoffs at a consistent clip for that to be an issue, but that's obviously a good problem to have. But yeah, it will become something that fans get upset about. It's kind of like Penn State fans right now. This point. Is kind of a make or break year with what they have on their roster, and their fans want to win and get won a title. They don't want to just go 10-2. So yeah, I think and that would have been the case this year with Tennessee. If Nico had came back, you would have expected more. You would have expected maybe you host a playoff game, and then you would expect to win that. So, yeah, I do think that if you make it enough, your fans will want you to actually win a game or two and advance in the thing, because just making it is not a huge accomplishment when it's, 12 or 16 teams.
You got to play football post-Christmas, too.
Hey, Brian, let me ask you something. He said that he thinks Heupel's a better football coach, just soup to nuts, better football coach than Fulmer. Do you agree with that, Brian?
I do think that Heupel does sort of give his team an edge more from the coach's box than Fulmer did from his coach's box. Fulmer sort of he won because his team also won despite him. I don't think Fulmer adjusted so well. I don't see a coach, and Kirby Smart, just because he has more talent, is going to coach circles around Heupel like Spurrier just a lot of times coach circles around Fulmer.
John, do you agree with that too, what Dave said about this guy being – because I think this guy really is a solid coach. I think the thing that's going to get him, if anything gets him, and something generally gets all these guys unless you're one of the elite guys, and I don't think Heupel's an elite guy yet. The thing that's going to get him is this whole recruiting piece. If something gets him, because I think he is an excellent coach. John, do you agree that he's a better football coach than Fulmer?
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's really up for debate. I mean, Philip Fulmer did a great job winning a national championship. He did a good job in recruiting. But in terms of just coaching and what Josh Heupel has done, he's done more than with less. Fulmer had elite talent. Josh Heupel, you go back to that 2021 team when he came in here in his first season and took what was left over from the dreadful Jeremy Pruitt era and won 7 games. I mean, that was quite an accomplishment. And then to come back the next year and go in 11-2. No, I mean, I think since I've been here, I mean, in terms of pure coach, Josh Heupel's probably the best coach Tennessee's had.
Wow.
Yeah, he just is. I mean, he didn't have the players that Fulmer had.
But now part of being a really good coach, of course, is to recruit. But this is a different era, and I think the key for Tennessee is it's got a good coach, so get the players. Now, how do you go about that? Is it crucial that Tennessee has a general manager? The way it's set up now, Tennessee has different people that are involved with this, NIL negotiations, evaluating talent, evaluating portal talent. But clearly, Tennessee has to do more in the portal. We've seen what Ohio State can do. I mean, Ohio State has – Ryan Day is a good coach. He's won a lot. He's recruited well. But what did it take for Ohio State to get over the top? He goes out and gets an all-SEC safety from Alabama.
And that running back from Ole Miss. Two guys they didn't really need. I mean, let's think about that for a second.
That's what it takes.
Overkill. It was like overkill last year. Because I'm watching that Henderson guy, and I'm going, you don't need. You got this Henderson guy. You don't need this other guy. But Dave, the thing that I can't get past, and I lay my cards on the table. I made people mad in the offseason. I think they mismanaged the offseason. Not only the Nico thing, but just the whole portal deal was a total mismanagement. And on the offensive side, because Matt's right. On defense, they go out and get players out of the portal. They plug them in, and they're able to play. And Rusty made a great point earlier. They get the kid from Oregon State who's supposed to be a 3-star player out of the state of Texas, and he's now thought to be a high first-round draft choice when the draft comes around. And they continue to hit, and they continue to develop on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm just going to say this out loud. And Josh Heupel has family and friends on his offense. He does not, and I repeat, he does not have the quality of coach nor recruiter on offense that he does on defense, and nobody can tell me different because I'm telling you the truth right now, and that's a worry of mine.
I believe his highest draft picks up to this point have been on the defensive side of the ball, too. James Pierce was a first-round draft pick.
Yes, and it's going to continue because that defensive line is loaded with very good players. You got several pros on that defensive line. And let me tell you something. When you put family and friends On your offensive side coaching, you're exposing yourself because there's no reason they don't have better players on offense. No reason. Their three best pass catchers right now are their tight ends. And Matt Dixon, there's no reason that should be the case. But that is the case right now coming into this season.
I mean, I look at that Palmer kid, that wide receiver. He's been in the NFL. He played under what? Butch Jones and the guy
Pruitt.
after him, and Pruitt.
Yeah.
And he's had more success. It just, I don't know. I just think that, Ohio State went out last year and they got two guys that they could have, they're going to be great without them, but they went out and got those guys anyway because it makes their margin of error so much smaller.
Look at what Tennessee basketball's done. Hey, we wrote it. I wrote today about the Masamba guy, gave you some inside word on that over at tclub.team, and we also wrote about the Borg kid who spells his name Berg, but it's Borg from Israel, who has played 19 minutes and 20 minutes, or 19 and 18 in the last two friendlies leading up to this Eurobasket steal. He made the team. This guy is going to be out there playing with NBA players, and they think the Masamba guy, it could be a boom or bust guy. He has a tremendously high upside. Tennessee knew they had issues. They knew with this wide receiving core they had issues. They knew that. Right. And this Rick Barnes went right out there in the summer. And addressed it. In the summer.
And got a kid all the way across the world.
Hello. Two of them. A kid from France and a kid from Israel. Look, I'm not going to belabor a point here, but when I look at Tennessee's defense and I look at their offense, it's two different classes. I mean, it's two different classes of talent. It's just it's undisputable. It's undeniable. I mean, I didn't do it, by the way.
And you can't really explain it.
No, you can't. It's very strange. And Dave, thank you. You've been a ray of sunshine. Thanks for dragging me into that. That's wonderful. But Matt, it is indisputable. Matt Dixon, that is an indisputable fact right now that what they're doing on defense and what they're doing on offense are two different. It's like two different worlds. It wasn't supposed to be this way.
No, it just feels like they've made an overemphasis on defense, and we talked about it those first year or two that you almost need a true two deep on defense because you're on the field so much and you play so many snaps. And they've done that, and that felt like the hardest part to do. It felt like the easier thing to do would be to get your skill position guys on offense and develop them, and that's unfortunately been the opposite. It's really weird. Again, I just think your defensive coaching staff's so much better than the offensive one as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. That's partially to blame for the lack of players on that side.
And the crazy thing is your defensive coordinator is not really a great recruiter. That's the thing about it. But they've got guys in key spots, and they're just out there. They're busting it, man. They're hitting out of the portal. But go ahead, Bri. You were going to say, then we go back to the phones.
Well, going back to Fulmer, he took over a much better situation than Heupel took over, and he sort of provided the missing piece they needed to take that last step. He could never have walked into what Heupel walked into, and I don't think he could have ever come close to putting up what Heupel's done with what he had. He's had a great situation, unlike Heupel.
It's very interesting. Although Fulmer, man, with his recruiting acumen in the NIL era, and his ability to roll his sleeves up and go get football players, are you kidding me? In this era here,
this program, the way it was pretty set up. I think the program was set up pretty well by the previous coach for Fulmer too.
It's kind of like this, John. John, would you rather have a very good coach or a bunch of very good players? That's the question. Because I don't really know how great of a coach Kirby Smart is. Because his players are so damn good, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think Kirby Smart's the best coach in college football. I think
he's the best players. That's kind of how it works, yeah.
If you put Kirby Smart at Kansas, how good is he?
That's exactly right, Brian.
I think he'd be good. Look what he did last year. Do you think Georgia had as much talent as Texas did? He beat them twice. He beat them with his backup quarterback. Kirby Smart is a tremendous motivator, and he's good on game day. I really like him as a coach. So yeah, I think a guy like that can make the difference. Georgia's talent last year was nothing like its 2 national championship teams. It didn't have the playmakers on defense.
No.
And look at that offense. Carson Beck threw 12 interceptions in a 6-game stretch. That's his quarterback. His running game was just average. His receivers dropped more passes than any in the country. And he won the SEC and got into the playoffs.
It's unbelievable, Andy.
That was that's one of the all-time best SEC coaching jobs, in my opinion.
So my friends at VIP Play, the welcome bonus is yours. $5, you make a bet, $5 or more. $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code to remember is TN Tony. And remember, college football season, it's not almost here, it is here. There's a slight card this weekend in week 0. You got to love the sport and how they're launching with a week 0, but there is some intriguing stuff on the card, and my friends at VIP Play have really ramped it up for you and are going to throughout this college football season. We are fired up, focused, and prepared to serve you and to be with you. It's going to be incredible. Remember, all 12 Tennessee football games are available for you to get some action on, and they're always live. 200-plus leagues all around the globe. You want to bet on some footy, they got it. You want to bet on some tennis this weekend in the U.S. Open, they got it. Props, options, you name it, they've got it. VIP Play, where everybody is treated, and I mean everybody is treated like a VIP. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Let's go back to our phones, and we get Richard in here, who's up next with us. Richard, welcome in.
Well, hello, gentlemen.
What's up, brother?
John Adams, been a long time since I've been on the show with you.
How's it going, Richard?
Oh man, going wonderful. I tell you what, man, y'all, Tony, you just kind of teed me up for a whole lot of stuff to talk about because it just continues to go. First of all, I'll say this about just real quickly on the Fulmer thing. The reason why Philip Fulmer was given the job at Tennessee is because he was an elite recruiter. He was an average game day coach, elite recruiter. He was the reason Johnny Majors had those elite teams in the early 90s is because he was the ace recruiter, and that's why he was given the job.
Hey, Richard, following recruiting back then in the former years, because that was before we had the internet. So us talk radio people, and Mike Keith will attest to this, we had to sit there and make all the damn calls, and it was really annoying. And I'll tell you this, Fulmer worked his ass off in recruiting. Fulmer, when they would do the close going down to February, Fulmer would fly thousands and thousands and thousands of miles in that airplane visiting with countless people. And they didn't get them all, but that man really hustled and really went hard when it came to recruiting. I got mega respect for that.
And wasn't afraid to turn Alabama in for when they were offering to get out of Memphis $200,000.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, so that's one thing. But let's talk a little bit about. We'll talk about. Y'all talked earlier about the roster, Tennessee players in the NFL. What do we got to do? I want us to take a step back, and I want us to think maybe Tennessee system is putting kids in the pros, and some of these kids who, again, let's look at them and their star rating coming out of high school. The majority of them. I mean, Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, Jalen Hyatt, and then, of course, the kid from Las Vegas. The recent kids, all these guys, Cedric Tillman, there you go. All these kids were not elite blue chip talent. They were kids that were just kind of in the wilderness, and lo and behold, Josh Heupel's system gets these guys a lot of money in NFL. And maybe they're just only backups because that's really all they are. But yet Heupel got them a lot of money because his system produces. And his two kids that's been drafted since he's took over that are actually playing more in the pros, and one's a starter and right tackle, and that is two offensive linemen, Darnell Wright and Cade Mays, both five-star kids out of high school. Both are excelling at the NFL level, especially Darnell Wright and what he's doing. So, sometimes we give a lot of crap to Ellerby, but yet two of his kids are getting paid very well and doing well in the NFL. So sometimes I like to think we've gotten these kids money, Tony, and got them drafted, and they're just average football players that are getting paid in the NFL.
Hold that thought, Richard. Stay right there, because to the radio listener, we're out of time. We appreciate you. We love you. God bless and GBO. The conversation continues at tclub.team. Hold that thought, Richard.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Oh, yeah, fired up, focused, and prepared. Richard, it's interesting because, that's a good thing, what you're doing with okay players like you were saying. But, man, if you want to win at a big-time level in this deal, you got to get elite players on offense somehow. You got to figure out a way to get elite players.
Well, I don't disagree that elite talent is what wins championships. There's no doubt you've got to have that roster, to play it. And so it is a constant process of continuously working on that every year and upgrading your talent. This year's offensive talent and all our blue chip, and there's a lot of blue chip talent on that offensive side of the ball, Tony. But boy, yeah, they're all young. It's all
kids
and first and second year players. And so yeah, it's one of those things that you just got to live with it and let these kids grow. But again, to kind of push back a little bit, the last 2 years recruiting classes last year, and then what we've got signed so far, out of the top 10 players from last year and this year, the majority of them are offensive talent, Tony. Five-star offensive tackle last year. We got one committed this year. Big-time quarterback last year. Big-time quarterback this year. Mike Matthews, a five-star receiver. Deshaun Braun, like you said, at the head of the freshman class so far this year. A big-time player, offensive player. So they are recruiting good players on the offense. They just need to continue to push the envelope and get more. And build that depth of them a lot more. And so it'd be interesting to see, as this staff continues, and hopefully I'm on Team Keys. I hope the kid, Tony, does come to UT, because when you watch that kid's film, he is one of those elite difference makers. He's one of those guys that when you watch him on film and you see his talent, it doesn't matter. He could stay here locally or come here to Murfreesboro and play for MTSU, and he's still going to be a first-round talent in the NFL because he's got that kind of skill. So he could go play anywhere in the country, and the NFL is going to pick him up in the first round. He's that talented of a player. And those kind of kids are just, those kind of kids don't grow on trees. There's only a few of those every year. And when you're going after these type of kids, you're battling the very best programs in the country for them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And but boy, just listening to Dave and Polly Joe, man, you would think we're winning 5 or 6 games a year and struggling to beat Vanderbilt.
I thought Dave was pretty fair. Dave said, look, there's going to come a time where making the playoffs isn't going to be enough, and you've got to get better offensively. I think that's a fair statement to make.
Well, again, when you get thrown a curveball because of your idiot quarterback and family and what they did, boy, that just hurt this year. And that was just something bad that happened, and You just got to live through it. So I'm curious to see what we do make out of this offense this year with the young players and Joey football. Like you said, when it comes to all Josh Heupel needs Joey Aguilar to do is not go out and beat the team. You know, one thing you can say about Nico last year, he missed a lot of passes. He had touchdowns drawn up. The offense, I watched that Florida and Alabama game back to back, and we had so many wide open receivers streaking down the field and missed every one of them for touchdowns. But one thing Nico didn't do is he didn't throw all the big interceptions that led to other points that beat you in games too. And so to me, that's to me Joey's biggest thing. Just don't go out and lose the game with bad turnovers. Punt, if we have to punt and play defense, keep it close. I don't care, Tony, if we win 20-19, as long as at the end of the game, W is on Tennessee's side. That's all that matters.
Thank you. Good talking to you, Richard. It's an interesting thing to look at because I'm on Team Matt on this. I just think they've got better coaches on defense, and that's where I rest. I mean, I and until proven differently, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know any other way to be, but to look at what's going on here. But we'll go back to the phones. And by the way, I don't think that's a bad way to be. I think having a very good defense is a first world problem. It's just odd that you can't have a little more on offense. It's just, and I understand you got young players and this and that, but you know, the way this works is you don't count till you count. So those guys can't. If you can't play right now, then you can't play. But I do think the McIntyre guy is going to be a really nice player. I really do. They love him. So we'll see what happens. 865-200-5402. I'll tell you the other thing, guys, it's really strange. And, Matt, we were talking about this. The kid from Oklahoma who's now going to be a tri-quarterback at Oklahoma to start, or at Auburn to start the year, that entire class of quarterbacks, Matt, is getting really, really close to having like 2 players out of the top 25 that can play. Is that strange, Matt, or what? It's very strange.
Yeah, it does seem like it was definitely just a down year across the board. I just wonder how much the portal and all those guys bouncing around affects that, because it's really hard to develop when you change systems and you're not learning the same offense like for 2 or 3 years. And you're with the same coaches, and then I just think that affects a lot of position. But no, it's especially to this point, it's been a very, very underwhelming class.
I was noticing today, guys, that this Drew Pine guy is playing at Bowling Green now. I mean, these guys, when they don't win jobs, they just keep jumping, and whether it's they even like will move down and just keep jumping and jumping and jumping to keep a job. It's really wild when you look at it, to Matt's point. And that's the sport now. And that's why, John, if McIntyre gets an opportunity this year and people see that he can really play, Tennessee's going to have to pay him to keep him. You know?
Sure. Yeah, that's how it works. I think that's a really bad sign for Auburn. That Jackson Arnold did win that job. I mean, I thought he would. I didn't think there was any doubt about it. They got with the Stanford quarterback, and they have a freshman. But they're talking about playing 3 guys against Baylor, not against Chattanooga, against Baylor, a team that really got hot at the end of last season, had a lot of returning players in games in Waco. Man, I thought Auburn could be much better. It could be the most improved team in the league. Now I really wonder about Auburn.
Back to the
phones. They won 7 natties overnight, so that's pretty good.
Hey, Bri, Wimbledon's underway. I'm watching Venus Williams right now in mixed doubles. Venus Williams is out there playing, Bri. She has got to be. She's 40 years old, Bri? Got to be 40 years old,
so.
Right? She's out there playing.
You mean the U.S. Open, not Wimbledon?
U.S. Open. I'm sorry, U.S. Open. Yeah, I'm so roached. I'm so roached. Last night I was talking to my daughter, and I said she was coming over. I said, "Why don't you take Kaylee for a walk?" She said, "I am Kaylee, Dad." I said, "Oh, I was thinking about the dog, Lulu." I'm just totally roached. I'm just, when you don't sleep, just, it's amazing. I can get on here and quarter function as I've done today. John asked me a question earlier, who the video guy was. I'm like, I don't even know my name. I don't know the video. Austin Brooks. Brooks Austin. You win. Back to the phones we go. Let's get Sam in here. Sam, welcome in.
Tony, what's up, brother?
What's up, Ridge Runner?
Hey, I claim the 901, brother. And I'm
I feel you.
Memphis guy. And yeah, Fulmer got some good Memphis guys and Tony right now.
Wait, I'm sorry, Sammy, I'm sorry. Stay there. I got to get these in order. My bad, man. We got to respect our elders. Let me bring W. Lynn in here, and then Sammy, I'm gonna come right back to you. W. Lynn, welcome in.
How are my friends and compatriots doing today?
Yeah, sorry about that, brother. Then we come back to Sammy. Go ahead, W. Lynn.
First subject, y'all were talking about how Nico ran the ball in the Citrus Bowl and how it was so much different last year. I think family, friends, his agent, they're all saying, you're going to make big money in the NFL. Your first thought should be don't get hurt. Your second thought should be complete the play. And because they're talking money and don't get hurt.
Hey, Matt, is that possible? Matt Dixon, is that possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that was a factor in this as well. I think Heupel and them made a calculated decision to try to limit the amount of hits he took, and maybe coach scared as well, and play called scared, which in turn is why Nico kind of looked scared when the plays broke down. I think he might have been doing too much thinking about, I can't get hit here. How am I going to get down? And
yeah,
but what W. Lynn's talking about, I think, is absolutely a factor as well.
Because I can remember people accused Jamal Lewis his last year of running out of bounds so he wouldn't get hit for worrying about the NFL. Do you remember that? People were saying that.
Absolutely remember that, yes.
Well, he was coming back off an injury, too, remember?
Well, that's true, but he's thinking NFL. I mean, you have to think. Every human being's going to think that. Now, does Joey football, does he have aspirations of playing in the NFL?
I would think if you're a starting quarterback in the SEC, I would think you'd wake up and dream. Why wouldn't you dream? You never know. I mean, I would doubt it.
I'll say this
I think you would dream, though. Why not?
Yeah, in the 23 season, Tony, you mentioned they did go 9-5. He hit 64% of his passes, set a record with 3,757 yards. That's a school record, and his touchdown to interception ratio was 33-10. So, yes, he was a lot better when he had a better team around him.
What were his rushing yards? That's what we were talking about. Because Matt's point was that he, by statistics, was a more reluctant runner than Nico was last year.
Well,
we'll find it.
His rushing yards, 2024, that's all I got here. I got Phil Steele's book.
Yeah.
He rushed 59 times. He gained 359 and lost 152 for an average of 3.5. Well, that's sack yardage too in there.
Oh yeah. John, that's always confused me the way they keep those numbers. That's always confused me, John.
Yeah, I've wished for years that they would do what the NFL does.
Yeah,
they don't count sack loss. They count sack losses as team yardage lost. They don't attribute it to a quarterback because you would like to see stats reflect what kind of player you have. And when you say he rushed for average 3 yards a carry, Joey Aguilar did at Appalachian State, but he lost 100 and something yards, you can't get a good idea of
Right.
the type player he was. So yeah, that I don't understand why college football doesn't change that.
Well, here I found it in Phil Steele. Last year he rushed for 245, but it doesn't have the attempts, and that was like John said, a 3-yard average too. So both years he ran the ball some, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when you start talking about you want to avoid injuries, it's kind of hard to play football if you're trying to avoid injuries because it's a collision sport. And if you take that your ability to make plays away, sometimes that involves running, sometimes it involves taking chances. It's the same way if all you can think about as a passer is, God, I can't throw an interception. I can't throw an interception. Well, how good will you be? Yeah, you want to be sharp about it. You don't want to be reckless, but you can't be overly careful in this game and be successful, I don't think.
I agree. I'm just telling you what I think friends, family, and an agent's going to be saying, you know. And did we ever run him under center for like third or fourth in inches? Last year, I can't remember. You there, guys? Guess I lost you.
No, we're here. We just I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember. That. Yeah, I don't remember it.
They used Kitzelman in a couple of those short yardage situations.
They sure did, Matt. I don't remember Nico being a piece of that, though.
No, I don't either. I'm hoping.
He's so frail.
Hoping we can do that some this year. Short yardage, put the quarterback sneak. If our line can block, so you're taking a weapon away when you can't do that. The quarterback sneak, inches to go. Lining up shotgun. That's just crazy.
It's dumb. My Eagles won the Super Bowl with their quarterback sneak. It's very they've become an elite football team with the way they run their quarterback sneak.
Well, go back to Tom Brady. He wasn't a runner, but how many crucial first downs did he could convert for New England on quarterback sneaks? Yep.
Yeah, so that I'm putting my faith in Joey football, and I know we got a lot of question marks, but the first thing we got to do is we just got to beat Syracuse. We can't screw that game up.
Yeah, I hear the Angeli guys. Somebody was telling me that the Angeli guys had a pretty decent camp for them. I don't know what they have around him, but they feel pretty good about him. So who knows?
So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I don't know the recruiting Josh Heupel does and all this stuff we're talking about. His defense being better, that just throws me off too. How the defense is, and the quarterback has got to keep in his mind, I got a great defense this year. I got a great kicking game, both the punter and the kicker. If we get down in the red zone or near it, I can't make a turnover. And I don't mean playing scared. You just got to be playing smart,
It's pretty great. I know that. This is going to be a lot of fun this season to see how this thing works, how it unfolds, what it looks like, what form it takes. And W. Lynn, thank you. Incredible call by you. Let's get Sam in here, who's up next with us. Sam, welcome in.
Tony, what's up?
Thank you, brother, for deferring there. You're a good man.
Hey, I'm now to be known, the artist formerly known as the Ridge Runner. I'm 901 Sam, brother, or 90. You can call me Sammy. That's fine. But Tony, the phrase you say a lot, "Come on, Maine," M-A-N-E, that came from the 901.
Yes, come on, man.
That's the exact phrase for all these callers. And I know you're roast a little, you always let Dave get too wordy, brother. He's too wordy. Listen, let him call the animal if he wants to get that wordy on negativity. And as far as the polling one, Big Pole, listen, brother, I love you, man, and I love Polly. And, he doesn't get wordy. He dropped the call. But I'm telling you right now, his boys are going to get a slice of humble pie when they walk into South Florida at the first game. They're going to get their kingdom torn down. Tony, I'm right now in Taylor, South Carolina, okay?
Right.
I'm training a guy with my company. We're riding, delivering packages, okay? This gentleman's father, shout out Jack, this gentleman that he's now he'll be a long-time listener. Hopefully he'll call, but his father is from the Tri-Cities, born and raised Tennessee fan, okay? He was at the 98 South Carolina game in Columbia where we absolutely tore their kingdom down. He was standing at the tunnel when the team was leaving, and apparently somebody in the Tennessee Vols audio video department was carrying some heavy equipment, and he just told the guy, hey, man, you need a hand. He picks up the other end of whatever he was carrying, and he walks into the locker room, brother.
Oh, might be the greatest story I've ever heard.
He walks into the locker room with Al Wilson, Ray Knox Thompson, T. Martin. And that's the game that T. Martin set that record for, consecutive completions.
Yes.
Signed the football.
Signed the football for him.
Yeah.
Signed the football for him, John Adams. That's a great story right there.
And I say all this to say this, Tony.
Somebody.
Heupel came into Tennessee in an absolute dumpster fire, went 7-6. What's his record in the next 3 years?
It's pretty damn good.
It's 30-9. The guy, listen, the proof's in the pudding. And speaking of South Carolina, hell, he would have gone to another playoff if they hadn't have crapped the bed in Columbia on a game that was cheated on.
John, in your humble opinion, did South Carolina use Connor Stallion's information in that game against Tennessee? Where are you on that?
It's possible, yeah.
It's very possible.
It's
yes.
possible.
And
it's
we
possible
didn't have our team leader.
It's possible that Michigan could have steered the playoff and shared information with South Carolina to get Tennessee and Clemson out of that deal. That's certainly, when you have a scheme that goes as deep as Michigan's scheme did, they could have been playing some 3D chess there. I poo-pooed that at first, Matt, when we were talking about it a year and a half or so ago. But now, the more I've thought about it, the more I've watched what Jim Harbaugh did and the way he washed his hands of this Stallions guy, who's now persona non grata and coaching high school ball, the more it looks like that might have been what they did. They might have. The real story behind that thing might be unbelievable, Matt, if anybody could ever get the real story, the way they steered other teams around and cleared the deck for themselves to win in the playoffs.
No, I 100% think it happened.
Wow.
There was a tie. Some of their defensive coaches were, at least one of them they had ties to Harbaugh's staff at Stanford. But yeah, I absolutely believe that's what happened. Whether that cost Tennessee the game or not, who knows? Tennessee wasn't really ready to play either. So, and that's why you give up, 60 points or whatever. No, I 100% think it happened. Absolutely.
Well,
that 98 South Carolina team could have had Tennessee signals, and it wouldn't have mattered, though. That team was awful. I don't think they won a game.
No, it was a high school football team they had, yeah.
It was a fluke game, and we didn't have our team leader in Banks. He didn't even go.
Nope.
Tony, listen, I'll give my opinion. I'll call in. I'm always got the Kool-Aid ready, brother.
Yep.
But here's how I see it playing out, okay?
Yep.
Alabama's going to drop that game in Athens. We're going to drop that game in Tuscaloosa. Then we're going to come in and beat them in the SEC championship game, and Heupel can silence all the haters. Joey Football is going to figure this thing out like Hendon Hooker did. He's going to lead this team to an impressive year. And guess what, Tony? Somebody's going to do what, Ryder?
They're going to feel this.
Yes, sir. Feel it. Feel it.
Thank you,
Love
Sammy.
you, brother. Love you, John. Thanks, man. Love
Sammy
you, Matt.
Ridge 901. Sammy Ridge 90110. I'm trying to think of what we can do with Sammy there, what name we can give him. Let's go back to our busy phones and get our next call in, and it'll be our final call here on our TLD Logistics Overtime, presented by our friends at TLD Logistics, online at tldlogistics.com. As we break it down with you scientifically, John Adams, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. And we get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Shepard?
Hey, Shepardo.
Happy John Adams Day!
Thanks for the shout-out.
No problem. John, my first question is for you. If LSU doesn't make the playoffs this year, what do you think the main reason will be for them missing the playoffs?
Probably an injury to Garrett Nussmeier. LSU has a tough schedule, but I think it has as talented a roster as any team in college football.
Right.
But it'll be interesting. I think it was I don't know why you schedule a game against Clemson at Clemson, and I don't know why Texas would schedule a game at Ohio State to open a season. There's some advantages to playing a good non-conference team first. You get a better read on your team. But, boy, those are really challenging situations. And I think if LSU loses to Clemson, that's just going to turn up the heat on Brian Kelly. Because that's,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I just and say with Texas, but Ohio Texas's schedule isn't as tough as LSU's. I think Texas can bounce back from a loss. I think LSU can bounce back from a loss. And I don't understand. We talk the scheduling. I don't understand why Auburn is playing at Baylor. That's for Auburn. Hugh Freeze is in a precarious situation there, and he's talking about playing three quarterbacks against Baylor.
Wow,
that's really odd.
I actually like Baylor in that game against Auburn.
Well, when Auburn tells me, that was kind of a toss-up game to me. But now, if you tell me Hugh Freeze is saying he's going to play three quarterbacks, I'd favor Baylor too.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, is it really going to happen? Are we going to lose out on we already lost out on Hitter, but are we going to lose out on Hitter and Keith?
No, well, that's what that Wilfong guy says. I know nothing about it. Or no, I'm J.D. Pickell or Wilfong, one of those guys said that. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But like Matt said, you can lose right now, but that mean you're going to lose, and you can still get back in the door with them.
We're going to Adidas next year, and they're making us the main person, the flagship of their brand. I mean, how do you lose out on these guys?
Well, I mean, because you still have to recruit. I mean, you still have to have relationships. You still have to be able to close. See, the thing about Fulmer, and we like to crack on him around here because he can buy you lunch. But the thing about Fulmer is that he just worked at it, and he went crazy at it. And I think a guy like him in this era, I think a guy like Lane Kiffin in this era with Tennessee's budget would be incredible, the type of roster he could build. And I think Josh Heupel's a hell of a coach. But I don't think recruiting's his thing. I think he's a hell of a coach, I think he's very good. Whoever said it earlier, I think Well, John thinks he's the best coach we've seen here. He might be right. I mean, that was a great coaching job last year. But here's my thing. Why do you want to make it harder on yourself, though?
True.
That's all.
I mean, but is this Heupel guy gonna be an elite coach to win you championships? The jury's still out on that, though.
And that's the point.
You know,
and we're not going to know till we know. So.
Right. And I'm fine with him as our head coach. It could be worse. Like we could have a loser like Butch or Dooley as our coach still. Like what brain donors those guys were.
Yep. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So
Dooley's out on a listening tour right now. First time in his life he's ever listened to anybody.
Yeah. So is it pretty much the Thomas kid is going to be the RB1?
Come again?
Is the Thomas kid pretty much going to be our RB1?
Who's your RB1, Matt? Who you got?
I think Peyton Lewis has the most upside. Deshaun Bishop probably starts the year as the starter. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think it's going to be a lot more by committee this year than it was last year. You've got 3 legitimate backs. I think you'll find a way to use all 3 of them. But unfortunately, it seems like with Bishop and even Lewis that they have some injury concerns. So it's hard to see both of those guys being healthy for every game.
Yeah, I agree with that. If I had to make a prediction right now, I would go with Thomas, Bishop, then Lewis as my projected starting 3. Thomas starting, Bishop back up, and Lewis at the 3rd string.
I guess we'll see what happens, man. One thing's for sure, at running back, everybody's going to get an opportunity. You know that.
Right, yeah. And I heard Staley's back at practice today.
That's what Hyper said.
That's good news.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
But the hamstring thing, when you drag something around like that in camp, that's a very difficult thing to keep from not having it reoccur. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, Tony, out the door, I'm very looking forward to week 0. Iowa State, Kansas State starting us off, Farmageddon in Ireland. I wish it was a campus game. But why can they not have the Hawaii Island game at 10 o'clock and it's going to be at 7 o'clock? That's just bullshit. See ya.
John, you have a comment on that? The Hawaii Island game, and it's at 7 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. Have you thought that long ahead, John?
I've never thought about that, and I will never think about it again.
Do you have any idea what Joshy Boy's talking about there?
No.
Guys, why is the Ohio State-Texas game, when everything's about primetime television these days, Matt, why are they playing that thing at noon?
That's what Fox does. They view the noon window as their signature games.
How bad
is that?
Ohio State plays a lot of noon games.
Yeah.
How bad is that? I know
that's what they do.
Big noon. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Well, it'll hurt Tennessee's ratings.
Yeah, I'd say. Although, who knows? Maybe our game is more interesting than their game as it unfolds. I doubt it, though. I highly doubt that.
That wouldn't be a good sign for Tennessee.
You're right. That better not be a good game. That's a very good point. Anybody else? Any thoughts here on the way out? You all been incredible.
No, I just wonder about that Hawaii game this week.
Yeah, Joshua, boy, you've really got me. Now you got me really curious.
It's the time of it.
It pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make any sense. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Is that it? Is he saying 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.?
These days in college football, it wouldn't surprise me if you had a 4 a.m. kickoff somewhere. 24 hours of college football.
I tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see an SEC red zone like the NFL red zone.
They're talking about putting something together. But I saw where the Big Ten said they're not going to be a party to it. They're not going to.
They have no reason to.
It's the two Fox properties, right, Matt?
Yeah.
That don't want in.
Take eyes off their property. I mean, the SEC network could easily do it on like their alternate channel. Just put 4. You don't even have to have anybody in the studio. Just put 4 boxes up with games on.
Berkey.
And I don't know how that would work, but you could easily do it.
Berkey could go in there and do squeeze play for football.
Yeah, and him and Adam Gold definitely could.
Yep.
And Chris Budden, yeah.
Easy
Berkey's
breezy.
Berkey's in Williamsport right now.
Yeah, I saw him.
Berkey knows a whole hell of a lot about football, too. He's a great football coach up there in Louisville.
He knows some basketball, too.
Oh, he's a renaissance man. He's what you call a baller. He's a baller.
It's a shame he doesn't know much about baseball.
He really is kind of a sheep, isn't he, when it comes to baseball?
Oh, one more thing. Matt, you see where Drew Gilbert hit a home run?
I did. That was awesome. Really, really cool. He really needed that, too. Yeah, I almost put it in McCovey Cove.
That'd be great.
So, yeah, that was really cool. As was the golfer finishing runner-up gets an invite to next year's Masters and U.S. Open. That's really cool.
The Harrington kid. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Yep. It's pretty neat, man.
Little farm. Yeah, so that's really cool.
John, I'll be checking in with you tomorrow night during that Lady Vol soccer action. It gets underway at 10 o'clock out in Westwood. So keep your phone around you.
Hope you can sleep between now and then, Tone.
No, I'm actually going to be watching some video of Hawaii. The team, not the old show.
Yeah, Joshy boy.
Timmy Chang, breakout year.
It's a pretty random bill of the year, Joshy boy. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. Timmy Chang forever. TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. Thank you to Jennifer Morris. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks. Peace.